Summer was different in my childhood. It was incandescent and surprising, long and dusty. The dust still tasted like earth and didn't feel like a destructive substance if you accidentally inhaled it through your mouth. Instead, it felt natural, like a primordial matter not understood by the body but pre existing. After every carriage, car, or bicycle, smaller or larger clouds of grayish yellow dust would rise on the road in front of our house. If you happen to have an ice cream cone in your hand, as it often happened to me, the dust merged with the other dust from the powdered milk, and the ice cream seemed even more delicious in its contamination. Several times a day, my mother would make me sprinkle the pot in front of our house with a cup of water. The cup was red and was graded up to a liter. In some places, the plastic had aged, showing fainter shades and small chips. I love sprinkling the pot. It was like a huge canvas, and I painted arches, water arches, and the water was drying more quickly in some places, adding even more structure to the painting. After finishing the 3 square meters, I would sit on a 3 leg stool and watch carefully at my painting while it disappeared. However, the smell of wet dust was the cherry on top. It was refreshing and strong, delicate and liberating. What I loved about summer was the lack of structure. No school, no mandatory activities. I didn't have to be anywhere, and I didn't have to do anything. Each day was like a world created out of nothingness and turned into nothingness with the arrival of night, or rather sleep, because in the summer I went to bed very, very late. Life was full of surprises, and one of the almost daily surprises was a torrential rain, a short summer rain. We gathered, my mother, father, cats, and dog, and stood under the porch, eating watermelon with homemade bread and smelling the steam of the rain on the hot stones. The sky turned black and dangerous. Poplars moved frantically, and street lights began to shine in broad daylight. The storm threatened and threatened to destroy us with lightning and thunder for a maximum of 15 minutes. After that, absolute silence settled in. Summer nights were lively. Once the coolness set in the village, people began to stir. They exchanged boiled corn and spicy foods, drank beer and schnapps at the pub with architecture copied from Twin Peaks, named La Trei Brazi, and discussed the latest episodes of Sunset Beach. Together with my mom, I would go to Mrs. O's house, where, in winter, I would hide behind the stove with a few old makeup boxes that I used as watercolors, and stared endlessly at her collection of ballerina dolls. In summertime, I would sit in the yard and inventory all the planks, all the spiders, all the slats in the fence facing the garden, in a quintessential boredom, while they were gossiping a bit. I would gaze at the dust and knew that if I concentrated hard enough, I could alter its trajectory. In a bizarre way, I liked the boredom because in boredom, I could see other parts of the world around me. In boredom, I saw how the cobblestones had different shades of gray, endlessly, and how the grays changed with the light. In boredom, I felt my heart beat calmly and concretely in my chest for the first time. In boredom, I put my hand in front of the sun, creating my own solar eclipse in the shape of a hand, and noticed my ivory skin turning into bright red. In boredom, every blade of grass had infinite possibilities to be defined, and every particle of dust could settle continuously. The world was created by itself within itself.